Preeya, this is a pasta bake that I make for my kids all of the time. They love lots of meat and they love lots of cheese. And this is about giving some joy to my young teenage boys who are usually rude and carrying on, but they love this dish.
Nice.
You like it?
Nice,
Now,
I do.
in the pan here, I have some onion and garlic that I've been simmering away in some extra virgin olive oil, and I've sweated it down till it's nice and soft and caramelised. And I'll just stir that around. It smells great, doesn't it?
It does.
As we will work it out that onion and garlic is like the basis of just about everything we cook.
It's the staple.
Exactly.
Agree.
And to that, I'll add a few bay leaves. In that
flavour.
goes. And I've got some oregano here. I'm just going to pick a few of these leaves and throw them straight in here. And I'll hand this over to you.
Yes.
I use lots of herbs because I have a huge herb garden at home, and I find herbs are one of the most important things to put in food to make it flavoursome. While I'm setting this up, I'm going to add the pork to the pan here. I've got some breadcrumbs over there, fresh breadcrumbs. I'd like you to microplane some cheese in there, as much cheese as you can get in there, and chop up some of the thyme, a little bit of parsley, and some of that oregano over there. I want you to chop that up because this breadcrumb, cheese, herb concoction goes on at the end. It makes it nice and crusty, but I'll tell you more about that later.
Okay.
Now, Preeya, you can see the onions and the oregano and the bay leaves sweating nicely. A little bit of caramelisation action going on there. And I put the pork in there. That's about 600 grams of pork mince. I love using pork. It just takes on so many different flavours and becomes a really nice, juicy part of the entire dish. Now, I just crush it up with the back of my spoon like this. So as the pork cooks and browns off, it falls apart. But I just give it a little bit of a help with the back of the spoon so it comes out nice and delicious. Now, I'm stirring that around. We've got lots of little chunks here, which I like, and it's just starting to brown off.
Yes.
And you can smell it.
Smelling good, yes.
It's got that beautiful pork smell. Now, I like to season it as it's cooking because salt loves meat, meat loves salt, and pork loves salt and pepper. And to that, I'm going to add some red wine. A good sploosh of red wine goes in there.
Nice.
Looking good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I love using red wine because it gives it so much flavour. If you don't want to use the wine, you don't have to put it in. That's not that important, but I think it just adds so much more. And the next thing I'll add is some tomato passata. I pour that in. This is a really, really quick little sauce that you can put together in no time. It's all about adding bits of flavour as you go along. Mix that around with your hands, get that going.
I was looking for a spoon. I was eyeing off a spoon, but no.
No,
okay.
it's all about using...
It's Richardson-style cooking.
Exactly, use your hands.
Beautiful.
I'm a tradesman. It's all about using your hands. And
nice.
I find that by using your hands, you're able to mix it through so much better. Now, basil, I've got plenty of basil here. From my garden, I just tear it up and put it in there. And the thing about basil I remember is my grandfather, my Italian grandfather, grew basil in his backyard and he will always have basil in his top pocket. So whenever I smell basil, I always think of him.
I'll do that and get your nostalgia going.
You will, and it would work, actually.
Yeah,
It would make me feel... It almost bring a little tear to my eyes. So
geez.
I know everyone thinks I'm a big, hard man, but deep down, I am
Very soft.
a sensitive person. In goes some butter because we love lots of flavour. Because we need to make it acceptable and flavoursome for the whole family. And I just stir that around. That's coming together beautifully. Now, this is going to take a few minutes to cook and boil up. You can cook it for a long time on the stove till you get a nice sauce, but I want to keep it nice and light. While this is just simmering away, I'm going to pop this pasta into the water and let it cook. But I don't let it cook all the way through. This pasta takes about 7 or 8 minutes to cook, so I only want to cook it for 3 or 4 minutes. So I want it to absorb all the flavour from the sauce. So I've got a pot of boiling water here. Heap of salt goes in there. You want it to be as salty as Port Phillip Bay. In it goes like that, and then pour the pasta straight in through the top there. And when the pasta's in there, I'll make sure I stir it for the first minute or so to make sure none of it sticks together. While I'm stirring this pasta here, you're going to pick the basil. Now, this will take a couple of minutes till it's half cooked. The sauce needs a few minutes to simmer away, and we'll be able to bring this together, pop it in the oven, cheese on top, breadcrumbs on top, and it will be delicious. I can't wait for this one.
Holy moly.
I know. Look at that.
Beautiful. So is this the pasta your nonna would use? This kind of, I don't know what this is. What type of
This is
pasta
coccinelli pasta, and we would also use penne pasta, which is another one. You need a pasta that can soak up the sauce and hold all of that sauce and work really, really well with a pasta bake. Now, the portion size is something that I sort of work to. About 100 grams of dried pasta per person for a dish like this. But if you have hungry teenagers like I have,
Double it.
I put in 2 bags.
Triple it. Yeah.
2 bags of pasta is what you want. So I'll grab this, bring it over here. If you want to grab some pepper, you can put some pepper on there as well. I like to season the pasta up a little bit before I put everything else into it. Grab a little bit of salt over here, sprinkle some of that on.
Beautiful.
Then I know the pasta is going to be nice and flavoursome. You could even drizzle some olive oil over there. We won't because we've got a lovely sauce that's going to go over the top.
Holy moly, I'm in white, Richo, so yeah, okay.
So I'm going to pour it this way and I'm going to get you to stand back. And if you have a look at the sauce, it is very, very saucy. It's not very thick because I know the pasta is going to soak up some of the liquid in there. So I want to give it something to soak up so it's not very dry. So if you look at that, it's soaking really, really well.
It smells very good. That bay leaf, all those herbs, it's beautiful.
And how easy is it?
Yes.
And the pork as well. You got a little smell of the pork, but it's just going to soak everything up. Now I stir in some basil and I've got some bocconcini over there. If you can pass me that.
Yes.
Look at that, plenty of bocconcini. And you put these in here.
Oh, they're going to melt.
Like little nuggets. And
Beautiful.
my boys love bocconcini, so I'll make sure I spread it out nice and evenly.
So everyone gets some.
So they all get the same piece. I'll put that over there, one little one there. So spread out nice and evenly, that's what you want. The thing about teenage boys is they're all hungry and you've got to have the food on the table quickly and you've got to have the same amount for everyone, otherwise you're going to have big trouble. Exactly. Yep. Feta cheese, this is Danish feta. Really smooth and creamy. If you don't like that really chalky, firm feta and it's quite sharp, the Danish feta is a nice alternative. Okay. Now that's cheesy on top, and to add to that, I've got the breadcrumbs with the herbs in it, and that helps to give it a nice little crispy crust.
So I'm thinking you could actually, just as a suggestion, you could leave the butter out potentially and probably sneak some more veggies. I love Richo's face.
The more talk about vegetables, the more cheese I put on here. You like this? Plenty of parmesan on top. Yeah, it's like the yin and yang. That's what we talked about before. Okay, Preeya, this is going to go into the oven at 200 degrees Celsius for about 30 to 40 minutes until it's golden brown on top. There's no veggies in this one. Have a look at that, Preeya.
Looks glorious.
It does, and I'm going to show you the little tip. This is my favourite part of the pasta forno. It's the little crunchy bits on the end.
Okay. I don't think I'm allowed to do that, given it's your dish.
You can get in there.
No, you go.
Try little crunchy bits. I think that's the best part.
Okay.
And the trick is when you put all the cheese on top, if you give it a little bit of a stir and get some of those crunchy little bits poking out the top, they will crisp up in the oven.
Beautiful.
Now, a little scoop here. I'll just take that out there like that. Oh,
very cheesy, Richo.
very cheesy.
Very cheesy. I'm really thinking if I made this at home, I would genuinely throw more veggies in there. I would put zucchini, some silver beet, some fresh tomato. I would. Is that okay? Would your nonna be okay with that?
She would be fine with it. You can do whatever you want. I'm just tasting a little piece of that cheese. The feta, it tastes great. What do you think?
That is such a classic flavour. It's beautiful. It's just tomato, tomato, cheese, cheese, cheese. I love it, but I would throw some veggies through it just to balance it out a little and make it a one-pot dish.
I could see you doing that.